Excuse me, gentlemen. This is a $500 a plate dinner. Good night.
Oh, 500. Oh, okay. All right, no problem. Here, put us down for 4, in case we want seconds.
Hello everybody, how's it doing today? I'm going to go ahead and do this luxury shop items and all that good stuff here in the VOA, the good old Valley of the Ancients. And as you can see on the map here, I am in the Hidden Village. And first off, I'm going to talk about this vendor right here, the Pathwatcher vendor. Quartermaster Nile, or however you pronounce that. Alright, so I'm going to talk about this a little bit before I start showing you the items. These items here are for a main hand, right? And they're a little bit better than you can get in the summoning chambers at level 200. And, well, there's no point in getting these weapons unless you absolutely have nothing else. They're not weak weapons. It's straight damage on most of them. And I'll show you. Show your weapons. So, most of these weapons, like the sword here, it's straight damage and adds to your weapon ability. There's no elemental damage on these weapons. And honestly, they're not that bad, only if you have nothing else. And I'll show you the axe here. Same deal. Gives your axe ability. Then your club. Gives your blunt ability. And so on. These are all the same type of deal here. Gives sword ability. Gives axe ability. And I've seen a couple people roll around with this stuff on. Because I guess some people can use it. Because it does, I mean, it isn't bad. It's just a little bit better than the summoning chamber stuff. You guys get the idea with this stuff, right? Dagger ability, 153 pierce. Staves, yuck, not even going to look at that. The wands. It does give fire magic ability on the wand. Then the shield here, well, let's look at this. These are knuckles. And this does it. Damn, wait a minute. Oh, this is an offhand. I didn't realize that. But and then your shield here, which is there's no point getting any of this stuff here ever unless you absolutely have nothing else. But what I'd like to talk about is in summoning chambers at level 200, you can get offhands, really good offhands. I mean, all the way up. I mean, people are still using those runic daggers all the way up to, past level 230 for the haste and the poison damage and stuff like that. So those are still good. My only question is, why didn't they do that here? Why don't they have let's see, what level do you have to be? See, 220. Why didn't they make a level 220 offhand list here that you can buy? Something a little bit better than the stuff in summoning chambers. It just doesn't make any sense to me why they didn't do that. But oh well. Let's pop over here to the armor. And this armor isn't too bad, honestly, because it gives a boost to your stats. Like with your warrior here. I'll look at the chest plate. It gives some boost to your stats here. And it's a little bit better than the stuff you can get in the Corrupted Gardens. But this stuff is a little pricey. There's not really a point in using this armor. Unless you're like rolling into, the VOA with, just Dragon Lord armor and you're not in a clan to where you can get your Exalted Dragon Lord. But, some of the stats on these are a little bit better than your Exalted Dragon Lord. But at the same time, you get your aura and your effects from your Dragon Lord armor sets. So, I guess this stuff is useful. And, look at all armor. I'll look at the mage stuff, see what's on there. Let's see. Is this it? No, that's for druid. I'm not really sure what it's called. Ranger. It's pretty much the same. It gives your main stats. I don't think that's it. Jerkin. Is it gown? Yeah, there it is, gown. So, it gives decent stats to your focus, and it gives a little health and energy for your mage. I mean, this is pretty much all the same down the line. And the only reason I'd ever use this stuff is if you don't have your Exalted Dragon Lord, and of course, if you don't have your DG, I'd say go ahead and use this stuff. But yeah, let's see here. Like I said, why didn't they have a level 220 offhand? That's something they should have done with this guy right here, is put in the 220 offhand stuff. Because some of that offhand stuff is pretty decent at level 200, and people are still rocking out, after they're 220 plus. So I don't understand why I don't have that in here. So, all right, we're going to move over here to the luck shop over here. Now, of course, I'm tier 4, so I can show you guys everything. I'm only going to actually show you guys 2 groups here. Hidden focus accessory. Okay. All right, so for your sprout stuff here, never get this stuff. 1, it's pricey, and 2, why? Never get the level 1 of this stuff here. I'm not even going to show you this crap. It's decent if you have nothing else, but what is the point of getting this stuff if you can get to tier 2 within a week? Tough it out, tough out that 1 week. And then if you don't have anything good, if you're clanless and you just are broke, or you just started, you just got a new tune and it has nothing on it, then I suggest to get the tier 2 stuff. And that's the budding. The budding stuff isn't too bad, but it is also a little pricey when you look at it. But most of this stuff here, I'll look at this for example here. Most of this stuff is for sustainability in the Valley of the Ancients. Because the Valley of the Ancients, when I first came here, I was like, holy shit, these mobs are powerful as hell. And man, the gear I got is good for, taking down bosses and like putting out straight damage. But man, I was losing health left and right. And I know a lot of people that have rogues, they just get eaten up here. But some of this stuff is good for sustainability. Like this here is for Druid, and it's pretty much the same for all these things. And well, it gives, 18% to your Nature's Breath, 160 energy regen, which is pretty nice. Decent focus, nature magic, all that good stuff. But let's look at the bracelet here. This gives you 130 health regen. 130 health regen is pretty good at tier 2. And it's a lot better than the luck shop in the Corrupted Gardens. So this is a decent bracelet. And it gives you really good evasions. Plus your focus, defense, energy, stuff like that. And well, that's pretty good. Now let's look at your rings here. Your rings, if you say you use 2 of these rings, you're getting, let's see here. If I can move this. You're getting 80 more energy regen. Now, honestly, I thought maybe they should have done a little bit more health regen, but I guess energy regen's good for your druid here. And same with this. This is for your mage here. God, this thing's hard to move up and down. Can't even touch the left or right of it. You got to literally touch it on the bar. That's annoying. But anyway, this gives 18% and grants also more energy regen. The same thing as your druid stuff. It gives the main ability of it, ice magic, focus, energy. And then we'll look at the bracelet. And here we go. It gives you that 130 health regeneration, which is pretty good for sustainability here. Not bad focus and a lot of physical attack evasion. And the ring's pretty much the same as that. But the nice thing about this is that you got the ice version, and then you come down here, and you got, well, it's not in order here, is it? I don't like that about this. It's like, here's the mage thing, for ice shards. You'd imagine that the fire one would be right here. But nope, this is for your ranger. But all right. But you guys get the idea. Most of these have 2 types. And I'll show you with, if I can find the, here we go. Yeah, find the warrior stuff. So you have 2 types of situations here, 2 sets. you have your offense and your defense sets for your warrior. Now, when I look at more of the tier 4, I'll get more detail about what this is good for. But I'm just going over this stuff, you know. Like, see that? And then, here's the... Is this right? No, that's the other druid one. So there's a lot of jewelry here. So, like, you guys wanted me to do a video on this stuff. Man, there's just so much of it to go over. So, here, where is it at here? All right, so like right here. So this is your offense warrior stuff. Gives 20% to pummel and gives strength and vit instead of dex and vit. So it's some pretty decent stuff. And also gives that 20% recast to pummel. And the same thing down the line. But yeah, if you're going to get any of these jewelries, skip the sprout accessories. What, you're going to wear them for a week? You know? I mean, like I said, there's no point in getting that. If you want, get the budding, just so you have some survivability until you can get, not the budding, but the budding. And then what I suggest is you skip the blooming, because the good stuff here is the fluoride stuff, you know, the fluoride, the toothpaste stuff is what I call it, which now this stuff is actually pretty good. Most of this stuff, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to look at, for example, is this it? Your mage stuff here. Now, with this necklace here, you get 30% recast to your firebolt, which is really nice. A lot of people have those rings out there, you know, the BT rings for recast, but you have recast literally on your necklace. So what does that mean? You can wear a damage ring, like a BT damage ring, you know, like an invo ring, instead of a recast ring, which gives you more, you know, damage. I think I've explained this on other videos before, but I'm just going to go over a little bit again. Now, the stats here are very similar to your Imperial BT necklace here. So it's not terrible. It's pretty good. It doesn't add damage, but what you get is you get damage from that ring now when you don't have to, you know, recast or, you know, put your recast ring into the hotbar. You can put a damage ring in there instead. So it's pretty good. Same with this brace here for your mage. You know, it's one of the, you know, it's not a bad bracelet. It gives a shitload of focus, a little bit of defense, but you don't really need defense, some energy. And it gives you a lot of physical attack evasion is what you need. And this is perfect for being in the Hidden Folks, the Valley of the Ancients, because you're getting wrecked. You know, by the time you get your DG upgraded and stuff like that, you'll have an easier time. But if you're rolling in here with, you know, your Exalted Dragon Lord or anything like that, this stuff is actually pretty useful because the mobs aren't killing you as easily because you got a lot more defensive attributes on here with health regeneration and your physical attack evasions, your spell attack, your movement attack, your wounding attack evasions, which is really nice. This is not a terrible brace. And it also gives 180 to Firebolt. Now, people are like, that's not really a lot to Firebolt. Everything counts, and especially if you're like hitting Firebolt like every 6 seconds, or like in this case, every 3 seconds or so. 180 adds up over time, so it's actually decent. And this goes for most of this stuff here. Let's see here. I'll look at, what's this one? This is your Ranger stuff. Same concept. It gives 30% to your sharp shot, which is pretty nice with the health regen. And same situation here. Now it gives dex instead of strength. I think the other version gives strength, but I'm not sure. I don't have a ranger that I'm leveling or playing right now. I've never really actually played with a ranger all that much, you know. But this stuff isn't terrible. Let's look at the bracelet on this. Now this gives an extra 160 to sharp shot and 105 health regeneration and 95 energy regeneration. So this gives you a little bit of both, which is pretty nice for your ranger here. And it's all about sustainability with this, you know. Because, I mean, let's say you roll in here with, you know, your DG tier 5, you know, or tier 4, and you got all your damage stuff on like you use at bosses. But yeah, I mean, these mobs here in the VOA, they can evade you, and then they hit pretty hard. So I can see how this is useful for like leveling up or just sustainability. And some of it's useful at bosses too, like your necklaces and stuff. Let's see, what is this one? Oh, this is your rogue stuff, your rogue necklace. 30% to Shadow Strike. And like I said before, then you can put on your BT damage ring of that type. I can't really remember, is it Ferocity or something like that, for your Shadow Strike. And you get extra damage there. And all of these are pretty much equal to your Imperial BT necklaces of the same type. And it's pretty much down the line here. Now I'm going to show you something here. I actually use this stuff for my warrior. My warrior is pretty powerful. Well, I shouldn't say powerful. It can take in a lot of damage. But look at this stuff. Recast on shield wall, grants 200 health regeneration. Pretty nice. Pretty nice stuff. Gives a lot of resists, some defense and health. It's pretty good. I honestly consider this one of the best bracelets in the entire game for a warrior, because it gives you the 175 healing upon casting shield wall and grants 150 energy regeneration. That's a lot of energy regeneration for your warrior, and your warrior lacks on energy, so that's awesome. Gives, decent dex, decent vit, So that stuff has somewhat of a plateau at my level, because I believe this is level 233. So, with my tier 4 DG set, I got plenty of dex and plenty of vit. It's just a little bit extra, and it gives a lot of resists, a little bit of defense, and some health. And I put this ring on to show you this ring also. The ring isn't terrible either, because it grants extra 80 healing upon casting shield wall and another 100 health regeneration. Now the dex and vit I think are lacking a little bit, but I think they're trying to make it up with your melee combat and 700 health. So honestly, this isn't a bad ring. Now I wouldn't suggest using any of the rings on any of the classes other than the warrior, because you need to put out damage at a boss. Well, maybe you're druid. Maybe if you're a druid that heals, then maybe, yeah. Let's see here. See if I can find that. Wasn't this druid? Oh yeah, this is right here. So this is the ring for the druid. 144 focus. Nature magic 249. A little bit of resist, some energy. But what does it do up here? Nature's breath. Let's see. Each ring raises the healing of nature's breath by 83. And grants 100. So this ain't bad as a ring for a healing druid. Like a heal druid. But I wouldn't use it for a DPS druid at all. So basically for the warrior and the druid, maybe these rings are good for, the support for a tank. But yeah, a lot of this stuff is just the same thing. It gives your 30% recast on the necklace and, decent stuff on your bracelets. And like I said, don't use the rings on anything other than maybe your druid or your warrior. Now, I know I didn't go through every little thing here, but you guys get the idea of what I'm trying to say. I'd probably be here for an hour trying to explain everything, everything over and over again. But, yeah. If you don't have anything better and you need sustainability in the Valley of Ancients, like if you're leveling or anything like that, this stuff is decent. It's not terrible. It's better than the CG luxury shop. Actually, better by far. But remember, guys, never get the sprout accessories or the blooming accessories. Skip sprout, get budding, skip blooming, and get fluoride. More for saving on gold also, but it's just no point in doing so, because between the budding and the blooming, it's not that much different. And you can just skip the sprout one because within a week you'll already be able to get the budding one, so there's no point of getting that. And want to know what I did, honestly? Well, I had decent stuff, so I skipped all three of these, tried to rush to tier 4 just so I can get the fluoride accessories. That's what I did. But not everybody has the decent stuff like everybody, and that's understandable. So yeah, guys, it's not terrible stuff. Now with the weapons and stuff like that, like I said, they should have they should have came out with a level 220 offhand, all the offhands like they do in the Summoning Chambers shop, but, maybe they will someday. I don't know. And maybe someday they'll put a tier 5 in here, whatever they'll call that for this luxury jewelry here. I could imagine that stuff would be close to godly stuff with the regen and plus the recast stuff. I mean, I could imagine they'd probably have the recast at 35 at least. I don't think they'd jump up to 40, but I'm pretty sure they'd come out with like 35% recast on some of your skills on the shop. But yeah, guys. Oh yeah, some of you might, some of you guys that are in AMA might be disappointed, but I did go back to Final Arc. They seem to need more help than AMA, honestly. I'm not saying that Final Arc can't get their shit together. I'm just saying they need people because for some reason people want to leave to the Easy Clan, and I don't understand why. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little torn between both, and each one, gave me a good point. Like with AMA, they kill Crom, and you get all that good stuff with Crom and become more powerful. Or you can stay with your friends in your home and try to help them, kill Crom. Try to get them to that point. Now, I probably won't be as active as I've been in the past because my life has been really busy, very busy lately, and camping boss and stuff like that I might do from time to time, but pretty much I've been so busy in real life that I don't know if that's going to be possible like I used to do it. But all we need is a couple Crom kills, and AMA, they've been killing Crom, and we've been pretty even with the other bosses from what I've seen on the leaderboards. Pretty even Steven lately with some of them. I mean, AMA's got that edge because, they've been killing Crom consistently this whole time, so they got all that gear. But sometimes gear doesn't really matter, honestly. If you don't know what you're doing, like, there's a couple people, like, I'm not going to talk bad about anybody, but I see toons that I don't even know if it's possible if they even got their abilities up because they just don't play the game. They're just playing off gear with barely any experience, and I don't understand how any of these people get anywhere. I saw stats of this guy, I want to say it was about a year ago, where he had like godly stuff, BT godly stuff, and some of the best named stuff you can get. I can't remember, was it a rogue or a warrior? But I can't remember what it was. It was a while back. But then he was showing his stats, and like none of his stats were like over halfway. And I looked his name up, and the guy literally had like 10,000 one-star kills in the game. He was like level 225 or something like that. And I'm like, how do you get anywhere in life? You know what I mean? Like, how are you gonna... You have to level up your abilities too. And you need that for defense, evasion, everything. I mean, could you imagine my mage like running around with half the fire ability? Because I just rushed the toon and I depended on gear by itself. And then I never really played the game. I just try to go win at bosses. Now, these people don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to play this game specifically. And I don't get how does, like, literally, my mage has a little over 10,000 6-star kills because I play the hell out of the game and I just want to be the best, I want to have the most kills of certain types. And I think I'm actually on the first page for that, for all servers, by the way. But then I see people around my level that only have 10,000 1-star kills. And I'm sitting there thinking, how are your abilities even up? Like you gotta use your abilities to level them up. I don't know. A little rant here, guys, just a little rant. It doesn't make any sense to me, but it's like, gear is good. But if you don't know how to use your gear and your abilities aren't high, it's like training. It's like never training for a boxing match or an MMA match, but you're getting the best gear. It's like, but you don't train to get it. It just, if you guys know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, guys, I just a little rant there. It just makes me laugh how people think they're so good, but they haven't really played the game at all. It just makes no sense to me. But yeah, like I said, I'm back with Final Arc. They need me more than AMA needs me. And I do have some friends over in AMA. And I still love them to death. But I'm going to stick with Final Arc. And I had a really nice vacation from being in a clan. I think I was out of clan for over a month. So it's been kind of weird trying to get used to being back in the clan. And but anyway, guys, I've gone on long enough. This is going to be a pretty long video. And I'll probably make a new video soon on, I don't know. I want to start, honestly, to tell you guys the truth, I want to make a video on The Boys. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that show is The Boys, but I'm a big fan of that show. And I'd like to make a short video on that coming up because I believe it's the end of April or the beginning of May. Season 5, the last season's coming out. And I want to talk about that a little. And like things I've also talked about, like that I wanted to talk about before. I might do some videos on that too and change it up a little bit. But all right, guys, I'm done talking here. It's been 25 minutes. I'll let you guys go. All right, guys, bye.